As Shedeur Sanders battles legal troubles over multiple speeding violations, Deion Sanders Jr. adds fuel to the fire with a flashy, reckless Instagram display, forcing the nation to question, are Coach Prime's sons losing control behind the wheel? By ABF Sports Desk. Controversy doesn't knock before entering the Sanders household. It breaks through the front door. The moment one story begins to cool, another flares up, and this time, it's not just one Sanders son in the hot seat. Just as Shedeur Sanders was beginning to process the public and legal blowback from his back-to-back speeding citations, his elder brother, Deion Sanders Jr., decided to test fate in his own reckless fashion through an Instagram stunt that has the internet in a frenzy. The Sanders family, led by the magnetic and outspoken Coach Prime, Deion Sanders Sr., has always been a media magnet. But the latest string of events is stretching public patience thin. With two of Coach Prime's sons now drawing criticism for their behavior behind the wheel, the spotlight is no longer just on their fame, it's on their judgment. From highlight reels to court dates, Shadeur's speeding scandal. Once hailed as the heir apparent to Coach Prime's football legacy, Shedeur Sanders had the momentum of a rising star. His time at the University of Colorado made him a household name, thanks to his commanding presence on the field and flair for the extravagant off-it. From wearing diamond-encrusted watches mid-game to cruising Boulder streets in a Rolls-Royce, Shedeur never shied away from flash. But now that he's transitioned to the NFL, signing with the Cleveland Browns, that glitz is threatening to overshadow his game. In a span of just 11 days, Shedeur was pulled over twice for extreme speeding. According to public records, the young quarterback was clocked at 91 miles per hour and then 101 miles per hour on separate occasions. The fines? A modest $519, but the real cost is reputational. Worse still, these weren't isolated incidents. Investigative digging revealed that Shedeur's encounters with traffic law enforcement are part of a pattern rather than anomalies. His reaction, however, raised even more eyebrows. I made some wrong choices. I gotta own up to him, Shedeur admitted in a public statement. But the lack of remorse, accompanied by a casual smile and chuckle, left many questioning whether he truly grasped the seriousness of the situation. Take it seriously, you're an adult. Insider reactions pour in. The NFL media community is divided. Some empathize with the young QB's learning curve, while others demand accountability. Among the more vocal critics is Cleveland.com's Mary Kay Cabot, who didn't mince words. That's reckless behavior. It's dangerous, she said in a televised appearance, warning that behavior like this has real-world consequences. Browns insider and radio personality Adam the Bull Gerstenhaber echoed similar sentiments on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. It's bad judgment by him to do this, he said, acknowledging he had once driven over 100 miles per hour himself. But I've done it too doesn't mean you get a pass. You're not a kid anymore. You're an adult. Don't give the haters ammunition. Gerstenhaber's critique cut deep, especially as Shedeur appeared to brush off the incidents with alarming nonchalance. I just didn't love that, Adam remarked. Take it a little more seriously. And just as the fire began to dim, Deion Sanders Jr. poured gasoline on it. Deion Sanders Jr., flexing and fueling more controversy. Social media is where public figures thrive and where they burn. Deion Sanders Jr., Coach Prime's older son, unintentionally reignited the family controversy with a now viral Instagram story. In it, he was vibing to music, showcasing his luxury car, and prominently displaying his diamond-studded wristwear, all while apparently driving. If the timing wasn't bad enough, his accompanying caption rubbed salt in the wound. They say be humble, since y'all insecure y'all want us all to fake it. It was a declaration of defiance, not accountability. Critics jumped on the post, accusing Dion Jr. of glamorizing unsafe driving and showing a disregard for the scrutiny his younger brother was already under. At a time when Shedeur's driving decisions were being dissected by national media, Dion Jr.'s public flex made things exponentially worse. And this wasn't an isolated flex. Social media users were quick to point out that Coach Prime's sons, particularly Shedeur and Dion Jr., have an affinity for ultra-luxury cars, from Bentleys to custom Rolls-Royces. While the possessions themselves aren't the issue, the manner in which they are flaunted, especially amid controversy, is becoming the focal point of national debate. Trolls, misconceptions, and the cost of celebrity. The Sanders brothers' affinity for speed and style has been turned into tabloid fodder. After Dion Jr. shared footage of a Rolls-Royce, trolls assumed the extravagant vehicle was Shedur's latest splurge, piling on further criticism. Coach Prime had to step in and set the record straight, clarifying that the car belonged to his older son, not his NFL rookie. But by then, the narrative had already run wild. For a family that spent decades in the public eye, first through Dion Sr.'s NFL and MLB dominance, and now via his coaching career and son's athletic journeys, the line between brand and burden is becoming increasingly blurred. Their fame brings attention, but it also demands a higher level of responsibility, especially when impressionable fans are watching their every move. With great speed comes great responsibility. Speeding, as a legal offense, rarely becomes a headline unless there's a deeper story behind it. In the case of the Sanders brothers, the deeper issue is accountability, maturity, and the impact of influence. Yes, many NFL players have racked up speeding tickets over the years. And yes, not every minor traffic violation warrants national attention. But when two brothers, both in the public eye, flaunt risky behavior in rapid succession, it sends a message, whether they intend it or not. Their father, Coach Prime, is known for his no-nonsense attitude and deep spiritual grounding. He's preached discipline, resilience, and integrity throughout his tenure as a coach. Now, fans are watching closely to see how he navigates this latest test, not as Coach Prime, but as a father. What comes next? For Shadur, the immediate challenge is regaining control of the narrative. His on-field potential remains immense, and the Browns organization has invested emotionally and strategically in his future. But every misstep chips away at the carefully built image of a focused, driven quarterback. For Dion Jr., the road ahead depends on whether he continues leaning into social media bravado or takes the opportunity to set a more mature example. And for Coach Prime, the moment calls for more than just public statements. It's a family matter now, and the way it's handled could determine not just headlines but legacies. Closing thoughts. The Sanders name carries weight. It's etched in football history and stitched into pop culture. But with that name comes pressure, especially when the spotlight refuses to dim. The Sanders brothers are undeniably talented. Their charisma is infectious. Their confidence, undeniable. But as the speedometer creeps past 100, so too does public concern. It's not about one bad decision. It's about what you do after it. And right now, all eyes are watching. He's kinda got a point. No matter how little any of the Sanders go off track, the trolls breathe fire down their necks for it. Just recently, they were back spewing hate about Shadur when Deion Sanders Jr. showed off a new Rolls-Royce. They thought it was the QB's purchase, but the elder Sanders shut down those claims. Coach Prime's sons have an affinity for cars, but they've also got a responsibility to flex them within the rules and ensure the safety of everyone. Deion Sanders Jr. and Shadur have an exhaustive and lucrative collection of wheels, but they have an onus on them not to encourage recklessness.